You got to slow down to speed up. Hey everybody, Coach Brew here for another episode of Windshield Wisdom. Tonight, it's after dark, we're on the road, and I wanted to share with you whole concept of slowing down to speed up. I'm not talking about driving a car. I'm talking about the machine that is you, your body, your mind, your spirit, your business. We absolutely have to slow down to speed up. And specifically, here's what I'm talking about. I'm driving back. We just got back from vacation. Took the family down to Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. It's something we like to do every February. Not Disney necessarily, but get out of the cold during February vacation week with the kids and go somewhere warm, somewhere where the sun is shining and it doesn't get dark at 3:45 at night, which is really 3:45 in the afternoon. Most places further west in the Eastern time zone. We're like the easternmost point in the U.S. when it comes to the time zone, which means we get darker earlier. Anyway, short story long, talking about slowing down to speed up. And specifically, the idea of vacationing was a foreign concept to me until I met my wife. I literally hadn't taken a vacation in 18 years when we first met, and she invited me to travel to Colorado and kind of explore the Rockies, go to Denver, Colorado Springs, Ouray. We went on a canoeing trip, camping trip, stayed in a lodge, went horseback riding, hiking. It was amazing. It was an amazing week. And if you've been reading my stuff or listening to my podcast or these videos for any period of time, you know I'm kind of a recovering workaholic. My dad was a workaholic. I inherited that gene for sure. I do believe that workaholism is an addiction, just like drug addiction or alcoholism. And I do believe there is a genetic component to that. I think I was genetically predisposed, wired to be kind of a grinder and a worker. And that was also, it's kind of nature versus nurture. It was also the example that was set for me as a kid. So anyway, what I learned in that vacation back in 1999 was that I came back to work really refreshed, both mentally and physically. It was the end of a long year. This is back when I was still a college lacrosse coach in my previous career. But that time off did wonders for me. And thankfully, she introduced me to that whole concept. I think women are a little more enlightened than us guys, and they get the idea of self-care a little better. So we've made vacationing a regular part of our schedule, not just a week in the summer, but we take time in February to go somewhere warm. Last year was San Diego. And it's just been great for a variety of reasons. And it's taken a lot of self-discipline and restraint for me not to bring my laptop, not to check my email, not to do anything work-related. And that's actually been very beneficial because I learned very quickly, you know what? You didn't miss that much. The world kept spinning. Your clients not only survived, they thrived during your absence for a week, and your business is just fine too. As a matter of fact, it's going to be better because you took time off. That's a big lesson I learned, and I share that with you tonight because I just got done doing a little writing in the office, and I am amazed at how much more creative and refreshed and enthused I was tonight after a week off. And I share that with you because I've been a cautionary tale until I met my wife. I didn't vacation, and it was detrimental, probably to my productivity, my job satisfaction, my mental health, and my physical health. There's something like 420 million vacation days that go unused each year in the United States because we wear workaholism like it's some kind of badge of honor. And if you've been on CoachBrew.com, seen my blog, you've probably or heard on my podcast an interview I did, an article I did on the whole concept of hustle porn. And what I mean by hustle porn is not actual porn. It's all the bullshit that people put on Instagram about how you gotta hustle and you gotta work harder and longer hours, and if you're not working, the competition's gonna catch up with you, and blah 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 blah. And they just take pride in the grind and the hustle, and it's a trap that's easy to fall into because people make it look attractive, and there's nothing attractive about it because it leads to burnout. What's attractive is working smarter, not harder, and slowing down to speed up. And here's what I'm talking about with the title of this video. Slowing down to speed up is the most beneficial thing you'll ever do for yourself and your business. And it's a great metaphor. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, a bunch of years ago, I think it was probably 2009 or 2010. It was 2010, if I'm not mistaken. I started distance running. I had done like a couple half marathons, a bunch of 5Ks prior to that, but I decided I wanted to tackle a marathon. I was going to raise money for deaf children's literacy. Each time I've run any kind of endurance race like that, it's always been to raise money for a cause I'm passionate about. And I asked one of my friends, my buddy Greg, who is a ultra marathoner and competitive endurance athlete, like, what advice do you have for a novice, first-time marathoner? He said, it's real simple. If you don't do anything else, do this one thing. You're going to get a lot of bad advice, but here's the best advice you'll ever get. Do this one thing, you'll be just fine. When you get to the hydration stations on the course during the race, stop and get your water or your cup of Gatorade and drink it. Don't just grab it and try and slog it down while you're still running because you feel like, the clock's ticking, you got to save time. So I just said to him, okay, but won't that slow me down, man? Like, if I stop, I might not start again, And he said, no, actually, it's counterintuitive, but trust me, start trying this in your training runs, and you'll see what I mean. So I would stop, drink some water, some Gatorade, move along. And what I found happen, even just like stopping and just walking as opposed to running, what I found happen was my splits got better, meaning like my time for the next mile improved over the prior mile. So that's what I mean by slowing down to speed up. And that's some of the best advice I've ever gotten from anyone about anything, because it applies to so much more than running a marathon. It applies to your business. It applies to your personal life, your physical health, your mental health. You need to schedule breaks. You need to schedule vacations. And when I say breaks, I literally mean breaks every day. Set a timer at your desk, 55 minutes. Take a 5-minute break, stand up, walk around, get a drink, get up off of your backside. And you will find yourself refreshed for the next hour. Schedule breaks each week, longer than 5 or 10 minutes on the hour, and find a way to recreate. One of the things I love to do is I love to cut out of, granted I get to make my own schedule, but I love to cut out of work a little early and just go shoot my bow at the archery range. It's an indoor range and an outdoor range, so I get inside when the weather's cold and bad in the winter, and I can be outside in the summer and spring and early fall. But it's got a very meditative quality to it. It's physical, it's intellectually stimulating, it's quiet, and it has nothing to do with work. Walk your dog is another example of what you could do. Go to the beach. Just get out and get with nature and take your mind off of work. I think some of your best ideas will come to you out of the blue while you're vacationing, while you are recreating on a daily, weekly basis, whatever it might be. I got a bunch of great ideas I plan on instituting in my business this week while I was away, just sort of by letting my mind wander and be out to play and noticing things in the guest experience at Disney. And they have absolutely perfected the guest experience in every which way. That's another whole video unto itself, though. But my point is, you got to slow down to speed up. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. You know, going back to that 420 million vacation days that go unused. Are you maximizing your vacation time? Are you taking vacations? You know, what are you doing with it? Are you setting boundaries for yourself where you turn your cell phone off, you don't check email, you don't bring a laptop? Those boundaries are important for two reasons. If you're a good leader, your people are empowered to do the right thing when you're not there. So if you're a good leader and you run a smart business and you hire the right people, you should have nothing to worry about while you're gone. They can solve whatever problems come up. And number two, I think it's important for you to be able to let go. I think a big part of leadership is letting go. And to be able to schedule systems, automate things, set things up in a way that you can take a week off, or 10 days, or 2 weeks, or however long, you won't feel guilty. And, you know, the world and your business's world just keeps turning. The machine keeps moving efficiently with or without you. But the big point here as I wrap this up is slowing down to speed up, and the benefits of that, especially from a mental health perspective. You know, we each have a battery in our bodies and our minds, just like, you know, your smartphone, the smartphone I'm recording this on, has a battery, and it reaches a point every day where it needs to be recharged. When there are too many apps open, when the power gets really low, when the signal drops, it starts to perform at a less than optimal level. And it needs a break, and it needs to get plugged in, turned off, recharged. We're no different than that smartphone. So that's me signing off, letting you know you got to slow down and speed up in your business, and you owe it to yourself. I think it's irresponsible not to take a vacation, not to just relax and unwind. If you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to BrewTube, my YouTube channel. And lastly, if you head on over to CoachBrew.com, you can get you can sign up for the Daily Brew, and when you do that, you get an email list, or you get on my email list. You get automatically PDF report, 12 ways to double your results, double your business. So go ahead and do that, CoachBrew.com. We'll catch you on the next episode of Windshield Wisdom.